What's poppin'? We're gonna continue this being the second half of the Eagles versus Falcons high school game. We already discussed what needs to be addressed in the first half, and we're gonna see if they make the proper adjustments here in the second half. Overall, I still feel Armstrong has had the better execution, but has been lacking the focus to complete the plays, the focus and control to complete their well executed plays. And then they have these momentary lapse on defense, and they allow a lot of transition points. So let's see if Kennedy can step up and complete this comeback and win the game, or what they'll end up doing. They already started off with a good stop. 5-on-4. You would think there'd be an injury timeout, but I guess not. Beautiful pass.
Is good for Peterson. Now they stop play, and I think Quentin Johnson is kind of surprised that they didn't stop play.
Well, and I think part of that is because the other team had possession and was in the play, but
yeah, the other team did have possession. Armstrong did have possession, and the refs did not call an injury timeout because of that.
I think she may have just stepped on a foot underneath.
Oh, there we yep.
She went hard to the deck. What I was gonna
Always hate to see a player injured. Hope she gets better, if she's not already.
You know, discussion at halftime for Armstrong. Okay, number one, we've got to adjust to their different defense.
So, okay, that was a travel. I was worried because it took them a second to update that score. But I'm liking the switching. I'm liking the motion. I'm liking the defense right now from Armstrong.
Now Miller gets into the lane. Little runner, no good. Maybe bother.
Could have and should have been a foul, but
to Armstrong.
Good job by Armstrong to get another stop. Now let's see. You got 2 stops to start off the half, which is excellent. Now let's see if they can continue to execute and get another basket real quick.
Armstrong.
Oh, good hesitation. Good pass. It's okay. She can handle it. Good way to hustle. Keep the ball in your hands. There you go. Good post up.
Peterson, that's no good. Carter snags down the rebound.
They're hoping to, and I think they're looking, let's get Jade the ball, and Jade, make some post moves and get some good shots up there. That'll be a good advantage for them.
Not something they did much of.
Now, Kennedy actually looks more organized right now as well, too. In these first few possessions, Kennedy's looking more controlled. They were more sporadic and frantic last half. So let's see if they can continue to move and get some good execution. Great ball movement, great player movement. Oh, that was a great save.
After that ball didn't hit the rim.
Actually, that's my
She
first
wasn't
one
able to get a shot
I've
up.
been at, but I've seen it happen.
2 turnovers in the first half now for for Bloomington Kennedy. 27-23, Eagles still lead it. 2 minutes gone by here, second half.
We got a better contested start to this second half, and I'm liking what I'm seeing execution-wise on both sides by both teams.
A little closer.
There we go. Moving the ball around the top.
Seeing all the screens up top as Fisher drives.
Ooh.
Can't get it to go, but Peterson there, and she can't get the stick back.
Good hustle.
Either, so.
Try to go back up with it. Can't be too upset. You're liking the energy. Ooh, got some body on that. You're liking the energy, but like I said, you're liking the energy, and you're liking the commitment to getting down low, not settling for jump shots, which is really good from Armstrong. If they can continue to attack, they'll eventually start getting some fouls, and then that'll open up the perimeter game.
Just got to get it to drop for them.
Swung near side for Jackson. Williams attacks into the lane. Wild layup, no.
Very wild layup. It's okay.
Fisher down.
Kennedy executing well as well. They just aren't able to get these to fall.
Fondow holds. Pressure.
You'd like to see a little more control and patience in the actual shot motion.
Fisher can't get the layup
from
to
both
go.
sides.
Peterson there. That's the second straight
but
trip.
more so from Kennedy.
We've seen a layup missed by Fisher and Peterson missing the putback.
They got to find that sweet spot on that backboard.
Oh, good move. It's a really bad shot to take. Good. She knew it was blocked. She made sure she got it so that way it wasn't given back to the uh, JFK. Okay. Nice three. Got some momentum now.
Points for Maya Dillard. She's the last starter to score.
Now you know these games are generally low scoring, somewhere between the low 40s to the mid 60s. So you're happy to see a 5-point lead. They feel more like 10, 12-point leads. Ah, let it go out of bounds. These 6-point leads, sorry, feel more like 10 to 15-point leads with the scoring relativity of the game. So good to see it's a 1-point game now. You're gonna see if both sides can compete, keep the energy level and intensity up. If Kennedy can execute and get some buckets. You got a spot up shooter coming around and catching that to spot up and make that, and Armstrong gets the lead now. So like I said, I like the execution from both sides, but at the end of the day, we're still seeing Armstrong, just like the first half. They're executing a lot better. And we can see by the way they're getting these points.
Back in the game now defensively for her. We'll see how well her ankle holds up.
8-0 run to start the second half.
Now can Kennedy counterattack? Now Kennedy's had a couple floaters and some real close shots that they've completely blew.
Struck his team.
So if they, like I said, if they're getting to the hoop as well, if they can just focus a little more, control a little more, then they can make these easy layups, and they'll be able to get back in the lead and secure the W. You know, it's all about who can finish off with the little things right now. And as coaches, you know, for both sides, you're saying the same thing. We're executing well. We just need to keep the focus and intensity, right? The reason Armstrong got a couple buckets was because of momentary lapses in defense. The reason Kennedy was able to get to the hoop a few times was momentary lapses in defense.
From the right wing, no good. That might have brought the roof off. Again, a turnover forced. Kennedy really struggling to take care of the basketball. 3 turnovers and no points here in this second half. So whatever adjustments Antoine Easley did, they seem to be working. And Kennedy just looks out of sync offensively. A lot of one-on-one drives into the lane and among a thicket of defenders.
Well, I think one of the things that Coach focused a lot on at halftime was defense. Where, like right there, oops. That was a great move that Fisher made. It just couldn't hang on to it. But I mean, that would.
There's something to be said about moving and having a purpose when you move, right? So let's see if we can point this one out. All right. All right. So we see everybody's pretty much matched up. Everything's pretty smooth and solid, right? So right now all you gotta do is make some cuts, set some off-ball screens, and see what you can get open, right? So, or what mismatches you can exploit, right? So let's see what we got here. So we look here, right? This is an open shot in the corner if she can get the ball over there. But the problem here is that this isn't a screen like this where, you know, we get a nice block off and we can get that pass over there. This is just a weird motion that's going on that's causing a cluster right here, right? There are options out of this, you know, backdoor cut, just popping up to get the ball rotating at least. There's things that can be done that aren't being done right here. But, you know, the execution right here is just a little sloppy. You know what I mean? So we get here now. She fumbled with the ball right here. Has a bigger defender against her. So now we got to see where the size mismatch is. And here we go. 33 on 20, 20 something down there, right? So you get out of here. You stay over here. You back up. You back up. And let her get the paint. Right? That's how we should be looking at this, but we're not looking at it like this. We're still doing really just random movements, right? There's no reason their skinniest defender should be guarding the paint. Their smallest defender shouldn't be guarding the paint. And then we throw this bad pass, right? The cut was decent, but the pass was bad. She was getting pressured up top, right? The pressure was up top. She was didn't really have the best angle to throw the pass. Wasn't able to get any power or her legs into that pass. So this gets picked off, and we see that there were multiple options out of this possession right here that just weren't exploited and weren't used. So this is a wasted possession just because of pointless movement with no intention or no understanding of where you're supposed to be, where you could be, or what could be created out of it, you know.
Like right there. Oop. That was a great move.
They were fortunate to get the ball out of bounds back to their side, but even so, you only have 3 seconds now to put up a shot.
Seconds left on the shot clock. So again, if you see a team going this deep into the shot clock, you know the defense is tough, and the steal by Fonda. Read it well. Here comes Fisher. Peterson using ball fakes in the middle. First time into the game for number 33, Marin Wilson, the 6'1" junior.
All right, so I know they already called a timeout. It may have been, well, I mean, it was the 8-0 run, so it wasn't really premature. But this is another timeout situation. Unfortunately, you know, you only have a limited number of timeouts, so you wouldn't really use it right now. But you're seeing that Armstrong, out of that last timeout that, you know, they were on the sideline, they came up with more intensity now. You know, they got the steal in the backcourt, they got a forced deflection out of bounds, and now they got another steal right here on an inbound play. So now we're seeing that Armstrong's bringing the intensity. They're ready to ramp it up, and Kennedy's just kind of folding this half. So we have to see if they can keep up, or if not, they're just gonna get blown out of the water.
Junior, and we have a travel and a turnover on Armstrong. They lead it by 2. They're picking up with token full court press. Miller off the mark. She's 0 for 3 in this second half, and jump ball, it's going to belong to Robbinsdale Armstrong. Now Miller is a good one-player press break for sure, but yeah, you could just see how it sped him up.
Right, exactly. And I think once Wilson gets her adjusted to this half, it'll see her inside and being able to move. Some of the little mistakes won't happen.
Knocked out of play, it'll stay with the Falcons, but don't look now, Patty, but it's a 5-minute and 18-second drought to start the second half for Kennedy. And I think that's a big credit to the defense that Armstrong is playing.
I think so. I think the adjustments they made, and then the calmness that they're starting to play on offense.
Erickson shuffled the puppies, and so it'll turn back over to Kennedy.
Okay, so we see Kennedy twice now in 2 possessions, providing intensity, forcing 2 travels and a deflection. So we're seeing that they're trying to keep up and put some effort back into the game. Now, the shot selection is not the best right now. They just gave up 2 really bad jump shots, but we see that they're still trying to be intense, still trying to keep themselves in the game with some aggressiveness. So right now, you just got to let them play. They're obviously trying to play through it instead of giving up, so let them play through it.
You're in control. You're going after the ball. It's going to go either way, but yes, you know, it's the hard work, the defensive movement. It's the little ones that you just got to relax and be in more control.
You can't fault her activity, though, and her desire.
No, exactly.
That's not something you can coach.
Those kids are so fun to coach because they work so hard.
Harder.
So this is something that I love teaching my kids, right? So inbound, right? Whenever they like to run a big up here to try and orchestrate the offense through them up top waiting on the screen, right? Whenever they try to let them come up here to wait on an off-ball screen or some off-ball movement to get either on that side or on that side. I love defensively, I love this, right? Make them come out further. They would rather catch you down here, but make them come out further, right? This is about 2-3 steps further out, and you're pressuring them. Don't give them space. Make sure you stay on top of them. Pressure them, right? And then while you're doing that, they're scared to dribble this. They don't want to start dribbling and then get it picked off. So you have passes that if they are made, the air time for all of these passes is enough for you to essentially pick them off because you see them coming and you know that the travel time is going to be too long for them not to get picked off. Oh, and then, of course, the fatal error, right? She dribbled, and now she has to pick up the ball. So she can't move anymore. She only has her pivot. She can't move anymore. So what somebody's going to have to do is realistically come up, as we've already seen. They're going to have to come up over here, try to get a handoff, because we already know any pass is going to get picked off or deflected in some way or another. So they have to come up, and now when somebody decides to come up, what you do is you don't let the handoff happen clean. You don't let it happen clean. If they come on this side, then you make sure you're fighting through. You're fighting through, right? You make sure you're on both sides of the ball so that way you can stop that handoff from happening, or at least pressure when it does happen to where they'll fumble and lose the ball, hopefully. And we see this right here, right? Don't just let her catch it clean. Put a hand in there. You know, try to get in there without fouling. Just get a hand in there. And we see on this side, she's using her body, using her arms, trying to deflect or ward off any passes that could come this way as well. We see on this side as well. We're blocking off any passes. We're denying. We're in excellent deny position. And that's what you're supposed to do, right? You get the big out here, right? She already picked up her dribble, so she's already stuck. And then you go into aggressive deny position.
Carter picks up her dribble in a bad place, and it's taken away by Smilzer. Miller keeps trying to draw that charge. Instead, it's Wilson with a
nice patience. And there you go. That's how you execute that deny. Now, their press is a little weak. I will say that.
For two. Underneath Carter in the basket.
And there Kennedy, once again, not focused, not in control, not, taking advantage of the situation. Boom. Should have been an easy three.
Maybe Haley Williams needs to start taking over. She had 11 first half points. Her team currently on a 6.5-minute drought to start the second half. Underneath, Peterson. Looked like she got ball from here, but.
Well, and I've been thinking as I've been watching.
So you're able to get to the free throw line off of this possession, right? So we're still looking at one of the most important factors, if not the most important factor of any sport, right? 31-27. So we know that it's only a 4-point game still. It's 2 possessions. You knock down these 2 free throws. Based on the first half, I'm not too confident in that. But you knock down these 2 first free throws, and then you get one more stop, and you're back in the game. You're back tied in the game. It's not a blowout. It's not a 50-point game. It's just a 3-point game right now. So you got to take advantage. You can't get too down on yourself. You have to take advantage of what you have and make sure that you capitalize so that way you can stay in the game, both offensively and defensively.
For Armstrong. Wilson grabs the loose ball on the weak side, gives it back for Erickson.
And that means you got to get the rebound. It means you got to get the rebound. Defense does not end until you get the rebound or the turnover.
Nice follow through.
5 in the first half, 6 already in the second half. Her 11 leads all scorers.
Is that what we want to do? Is that the best shot option that we had in that situation? We can actually go back a little bit and we will see. Cool. Got a dribble right there. Look at her cutting back door. Right, she came from the wing, from a corner, sorry. She's cutting back door. She occupies this space right here. So you have 2 options right here realistically. One right there and one right there. One way or another, you have passing options. So you need to take advantage of them when you have them, so that way you can capitalize and stay in the game. These are things that you should be utilizing. And I pointed this out a couple times in the first half. A couple times where there were players on Armstrong's team, number 23 on Armstrong, was refusing to make those same cuts. And she was giving up so many open opportunities that could have given them the lead or at least a tie game a lot sooner.
Her 11 leads all scorers. Williams too hard on the runner. Oh, it looks like the same team, and it's a travel as a result.
Unfortunately, you're right. It ended up being the same team all the way down.
And great job by Wilson to snag the offensive rebound on the weak side and then kick it out for the three. Unselfish play. Largest lead of the game for Armstrong. Three here for Harris is no good. Wilson boxing her out. And I think that's going to be a foul on Harris, who clearly is dealing with kind of a gimpy ankle. Actually, they're going to get, they are going to get Harris. Her third foul. 34-29. 5-point lead from the left wing, hard off the glass, and Harris is there for the rebound.
Good job. We got to stop. We secured the rebound. Pass the ball, open three. Can we knock it down? No, we can't. It's cool. Great, great, great. So before we even see the result of this, excellent right here, right? Shooter and wing player, right? The shot goes up. Now, number 5 right here is trying to box out just to make sure in case it's a long rebound, it doesn't go back to the offense, right? And we're seeing that these two are looking right away to get ready to run back. I made this comment on one of my videos a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago by now, but there's this really bad idea that if you're the one shooting the three, you shouldn't be the first one back on defense. That somebody else should be ready to pick up your man. That is one of the worst ideas possible, and it's the reason why we have so many easy transition baskets, because the shooter wants to celebrate or stick around instead of getting back on defense. So to see that right here, these two are ready to start running back, and one of them is the shooter, that's excellent. So as we're watching it here, boom, let's see. Now she ended up fouling her, but even so, just the fact that you had two back on defense for that, I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy. You know, you prefer to not see the foul, but might have been a body foul because she kind of missed with her arms completely. But still, it's still good to see two of them getting back. These free throws, man, I'm telling you. Got to put up at least 1,000 free throws the day after as a team.
There, Patty, she couldn't put any weight on that foot as Cooley buries the second. 35-29 our score.
Yeah, I was a little worried when I was watching her come out, going, ooh, because it just looked like she couldn't put any weight on.
6-point lead, the largest of the game, as again Armstrong will dial up a little zone. Miller, she's a big fan of throwing the head back, trying to get the foul call. Has not worked for her so far, I gotta say.
All right, and here's another thing I love to teach defensively, how you know you're winning. This is the line they haven't crossed yet. This is about 22 feet away from the hoop, right? This is about 22 feet away from the hoop. So this is excellent. If they just want to keep on handing off right here and there's no execution to get the ball in the middle where they should be against the zone, we're winning. Because by the time they try to get a good shot, it'll probably be, once again, on the perimeter, outside, and it will not be something favorable for them based on the way the game has been going. So you're winning on defense, and you can just crowd that. You could crowd that, right? That's a long three. You live with that. Tell her she has to do that all game.
Pointer of the second half made. That's how they're going to stay in this. Dillard underneath with the puck.
There you come back right away. Quick hitter. Get it in the paint. Up and in.
Put it back up.
Back to a 5-point lead as Miller splits the defense. Underneath, looking for Carter. Doubled in the post. And I think they might get Dillard, who looks bewildered.
That's kind of where she's gotten her fouls today. Is it's the overaggress where she's ending up wrapping around, and that's where she's gotten most of her fouls. It's like sometimes you just got to let go and wait for her to get in the right position.
Well, just stay straight up.
Yeah.
If you're straight up and down, you're entitled to a certain amount of space.
Yeah, she can't go over her back to try and get the ball, which she did on that last one.
Already the fourth team foul of the second half on the Falcons. We're nearing the midway point of the second half. Miller fouled by Smelzer, and she'll go to the line for two. That's something that Macy Miller has done a really nice job of tonight, Patty, is get to the free throw line.
Exactly. She likes to attack the bucket, and she's been successful at doing that, which, like you said, has put her at the free throw line.
Macy Miller will try to trim the lead from 5. First points of the second half for her. Couple substitutions as it was a brief rest for Harris. She's back in.
It's kind of been a little bit of a tale of two halves. I mean, the first half kind of went mostly Kennedy's way. So far this half had been going Armstrong's way. We'll see how they adjust as we progress down.
Miller drains both free throws and cuts the lead to 3. Fisher. Hesitation dribble, splits defenders and scores.
We like the aggressiveness from Armstrong now still. They're still pushing. They're not settling on the lead. They're still pushing. Oh my goodness, what are we watching again? Oh my goodness. What are we not supposed to do? We came down. The dribble is the most important thing we have, and we just picked it up right there. We picked it up at the three-point line. We cannot keep doing that. That is how they're pressuring us and how they're getting these turnovers.
Miller lowers her shoulder, and we've got another foul, a blocking foul. I believe this is going to be the 6th team foul on the Falcons in this second half. As Ella Cooley picks up her 3rd foul. $15 on the shot clock for Kennedy. Harris in the paint. Doubled again.
Excellent.
Trying to get it out. Back to Harris down low. I love that return.
They ended up fouling, but that was excellent defense on my point of view. Because we see, yes, there's a bit of a size mismatch here, right? There's obviously a size mismatch right here, right? So what do? Slide over and make sure you're in a good help position in case she tries to bully her way that side. And now you have somebody that's crowded. So if she tries to make that pass, she's trying to get a pass through your body and her body. So now that's even tougher, right? So if she does get it off, you can still pop up out there and contest, right? You can close out and contest. So that was excellent. And like I said, I know they ended up fouling, but to me, that's excellent defense. That whole possession, Armstrong is just doing excellent. See that? Armstrong is just doing excellent in my position defensively and really trying to make sure they can secure the win. Like I said, I know they fouled, but that doesn't take away from how good their defense has been this entire second half.
And guards see them, or wings, who's ever out there. If they do that, repost, hit them again.
That was about as quick a repost as I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that was basically a touch pass. As Harris, who's a good free throw shooter, knocks down her 3rd of the half. Dillard now has to go out with 4 fouls. And Armstrong, Kennedy's already in the bonus with 8:41 to go here in the second half.
When I think Dillard last time thought she got a block on that, but
Harris can't get that one to go. 39-35.
Oh,
Fondau
sloppy
loses
with the
it.
ball, lost it.
Stewart.
Oh, what? That was a double dribble. That was a double dribble. No one touched the ball. That's a double dribble.
of the number of unforced turnovers both teams given up.
Now we have a timeout taken by someone, although Stewart is down and has remained down. That is, Alessia Richardson. Oh, and now she's popped up. Seems to be okay, Alessia Richardson. As Richardson, you see, just kind of got stretched a little bit on the kind of foot kind of gave out on her a little bit.
And then I think, stretched, and then it looked like she landed right on the knee on top of it. So probably maybe a little muscle, hopefully. Nothing serious.
Jackson replaces her in the lineup. 4-point deficit for Kennedy as they inbound the basketball. Miller in the lane, pops, misses it. Erickson with the rebound.
Good pass, good pass, good pass. Open three, knock it down. Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
And that's the things in film.
You can see who wants it more.
Where were we most successful? When we were patient, moved the ball more.
Largest lead of the game, this for Armstrong, as Miller tries to answer. Long in the rebound. She's had a tough shooting night from the field. Has gotten to the line, though. Offensive
Good
rebound
interior
for Kennedy.
Oh, my goodness.
8th team foul picked up. As will go to the line. And again, good position by the bigs of Kennedy.
Exactly. And just, it's hard for those posts to understand, okay, I got beat. I just got to go straight up. I can't keep coming over or reaching on them.
Tasha Carter averaging 5 a game, has 2 tonight. Has struggled.
Yeah, both sides have been absolutely horrible from the free throw line, so I don't even know if Kennedy would be in the lead if they made all of their free throws. It might just be a tie game, honestly. But it's just been absolutely just horrible to watch this both teams from the free throw line for both halves.
Well, and part of it, too, is the defensive aggressiveness as well.
Right, exactly.
High ball screen for Fondau. Fisher drives to the hole. Can't get it to go, but I think Miller just picked up another personal foul.
So we're seeing a big difference in philosophy, too, in shot selection, right? Armstrong's been taking it to the hole every time, and they've only taken maybe 3 or 4 wide open jump shots. We're seeing a mix of bad shots and lack of control from Kennedy that's kind of taken away their momentum and rhythm. So once again, the execution by Armstrong, they're showing that they want it more. They're showing they want it more.
They lead it by 6 right now. Clock gonna start being a factor soon here. 7:27 to go as Fisher goes 1 for 2.
Right now, I wouldn't mind calling a timeout, right? You have 3 of them still, so.
To do that off makes. They trap Miller out near the timeline, and smart timeout taken by.
There you go, because that was about to be a turnover. So you have a 7-point deficit to overcome. Once again, that's the beauty of high school basketball. A lot of these games aren't too high scoring, and the high scoring games usually have bad defense. So you're really okay in this situation, right? So what you're going to have to do is just tell them they need to focus and need to lock in. First of all, defensively, right? The fact that Armstrong keeps getting to the hoop can't keep happening. If we're going to go zone, then we need to make sure that we're locking down the paint. If we're going to go man, then we need to make sure we stay in front of our man. The other thing is offensively, we can't keep turning the ball over, and there's called shot turnovers, right? bad shots that they get the rebound and a run out on, and then they get to score or they get to execute a good play. We have a lot of those. If we're Kennedy, we have a lot of those, and we have too many of those. And now we're sitting at, we were up 27-21 at halftime. They've scored 22 points. We've scored 9. You know, there's plenty of time to come back, but we got to start now. We got to start getting rid of these bad habits that we've been doing during the game and start executing properly now.
And I believe they're around here, right, Maranatha?
They're in Brooklyn Park. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Out of the timeout, 7:16 to go, 7-point lead for the Falcons. Their defensive intensity, I think, has been the key, Patty, in this second half to them taking the lead. Williams kicks it to the corner for Carter. Miller in the lane and hits.
Tough shot.
Yeah, she kind of got left open for a little while there, and then they readjusted and went and found her.
And now, if you're Kennedy, you got to get some stops.
Exactly. You know, be smart defense.
Erickson's three, no good. Wilson, some valuable minutes off the bench, pulls it down. Out for Erickson. Good ball movement to Fondau.
Oh,
Carter.
These fouls.
The foul.
Oh, my goodness.
And I like that Fondau didn't settle for the jumper there, decided to attack the closeout.
Exactly. You know, it was interesting to see how that was happening and just staying the course in there.
And she rolls in that first one.
Because we all know she can make the outside shots too, but to go ahead and attack, which they need to do. I mean, we talked about a little while ago, the foul difference right now, 8-4, and they need to start attacking the bucket, maybe getting an and one, or at least getting to the free throw line.
Well, and it seems to me, too, that if a player, an opposing defender, like, if you give them the same thing every time, they're going to know what you're going to do. But if you vary it up, they're not going to know whether they can close out as aggressively.
Right, and you have to have more to your game than just one. It can't be just one-dimensional.
What is this guy doing? Oh my goodness, what did I say about taking advantage of these? These are the ones you gotta make. So many of these opportunities are just blowing. You really gotta take advantage of them. You really gotta take advantage.
So, Leilani Harris to the free throw line for already the third time in this second half, trying to keep her team in this game. Falcons trying to even their record at 1-1. They started the season just this week, losing to Mounds View in a close one on Tuesday. No shame in that, though. The Mustangs have a good program.
Yes, they do.
Harris 1 for 2. To make it 45-39, and now it's Kennedy's turn to apply some full court pressure. Fisher, maybe the most confident dribble on this floor, her and Miller.
I agree with you. She seems very comfortable with the ball in her hands.
Williams bounces for Miller at the top of the key. Inside of 5:50 to go in the game.
You need a ball handler like that that's comfortable and confident with the ball, because that kind of calms your whole team. You know what's going to happen.
And she can get you into your offense too.
Exactly.
Great. Now that my mic is on, so here's the new issue and situation that we're facing coming down the stretch. Right, you spent 15 minutes playing bad basketball. Or 13 minutes, I can't remember how long these halves are. But you spent this whole time playing bad basketball. You're down by 6. The trust factor is kind of gone, right? So people are kind of just doing their own thing now and kind of causing some weird things to happen offensively, right? Looking at this shot right here where I paused it, that's clearly a foul. I'm not sure if they're going to call it, but that's clearly a foul right there. Uh, Hopefully this guy looking straight at it does call it, but I mean, from my experience. Um, so yeah, you got a trust factor that's not there anymore. Then we have a confidence factor that's down as well because we're not doing it. You know, we're missing open shots, we're missing decent layups. We can't get anything we want. They're pressuring us too much, and then they're scoring on the other side, and it just gets so overwhelming, right? It's very overwhelming, and uh, it's easy to fall apart in this situation. So you want to try to simplify everything, right? Try to simplify as much as possible. Run the simplest play you can absolutely pull out, right? Just the simplest play. And from there, just go ahead. The simplest play, get the easiest shot, whether it be down in the post or an open perimeter shot. Doesn't matter. You just want the simplest play. You just need to see the ball go in, right? So hopefully Kennedy can continue to fight in the game and just simplify things so that way they can make a comeback to hopefully win. On Armstrong's side, they're doing everything right. They were getting a little sloppy dribbling a little bit, but for the most part, they're doing everything right. Absolutely everything right. I'm not concerned about anything they're doing at all.
And when your main floor general is just rattled or all over the place, then that changes the whole intensity of your team.
Fondao fouled Jackson, or rather Jackson fouled Fondao. As Harris gets replaced by Carter. I really like how the substitution patterns of Quentin Johnson, he's really almost doing hockey shifts where he's having the short, bursts with each kid, and then obviously outside of like Miller and Williams.
Exactly.
As they're going to try to trap Fisher up top. It doesn't work as Armstrong breaks the timeline. But now at the shot clock, you just get into your offense that much later. Wilson with some nice footwork again. This time she's all Swedish and no finish. That's a hockey one. I borrowed that from hockey.
She certainly has brought another element, though, to the game for Armstrong right now.
Yeah, good post presence for the Falcons.
Defensively and offensively.
Fondao has been everywhere defensively in the second half. By my count, already the 6th turnover of the half for Kennedy. Fondao.
Oh, beautiful. Oh,
Wilson,
my God.
Just what we talked about.
That was beautiful.
And Antoine Easley, as he likes to do, takes an immediate full timeout.
That was perfect.
You know why that was perfect?
By my count, already the 6th turnover.
Look at this. Screen. Watching. Recovering. Where do you pass the ball? You don't pass the ball here. You pass the ball to where they're going. Let them come into that pass. And that's exactly what she did. Boom. And what do you get? Something nice and beautiful. And that's a perfect layup off a perfect pass.
Underneath for Wilson. Just when we talked about.
Need more. Just get
8. That kind of or a forcing result.
Go.
No doubt Patty will be sure.
Right now he wants to slow him down a little bit, not make it that easy to get the ball up the court.
Miller just dribbles around Fondao.
He didn't want it that easy up the court.
Yeah, what more press break do you need if you're Quentin Johnson? Carter holds with 19 on the shot clock. Miller with 10 drives. That's going to be a charge for sure, as Fondao was waiting for on the left block.
She sure was, and she just great presence, knew what was coming, and just took the charge.
6th team foul. The foul's evening out a little bit. Now it's 9-6. An 8-point lead for Robbinsdale Armstrong here as we near the 4-minute mark to go, second half. Up ahead.
We got a lot of bodies flying all over the place again.
Harris, hands for Williams. That missed everything, and it's a rebound underneath and a foul on Carter.
Now they're in a 1-on-1 now.
Williams and Miller leading the way with 14 apiece, but the shooting has clammed up for Bloomington Kennedy in this second half, just 12 points.
It is, like we said a little bit ago, it seemed like they were getting the shots they wanted and things were dropping well for them in the first half. And the adjustments, you got to credit Armstrong. The adjustments they've made has made it more difficult for them, and their offense for Armstrong's seeming more confident right now.
Armstrong at one point in the second half trailed by as many as 12 as Erickson's long on that free throw. Now they lead it by 8 as we're inside of 4 minutes to go. Miller, great crossover. They camp out in the lane. This time, Fondo called for the block.
I don't know. I thought it looked like the same thing last time.
Yeah, I think she did too. But that crossover was pretty sweet from Miller.
They're going to have a conversation about what did you see.
Yeah. She was in the lane, not in the restricted area.
I think that should have been a blocking foul. She's still going up towards the shooter. The shooter's already in the air. That's a dangerous play. That's a very dangerous play. Kyle Lowry does that a lot. I hate seeing him do that. You come up under somebody in the air.
Should have had more confidence in myself right there. 3.5 minutes to go as Emily Fisher breaks the pressure.
What was this? Look at how weak this press is. Look at how absolutely weak this press is. She comes, gets past one, gets past another. That is horrible. They got away with her losing the ball out of bounds, but that was absolutely horrible execution on that press. There was no trap. There was no nothing. She got to the hoop.
So we've been stuck on 47-39 for a couple minutes as Williams will take a turn bringing it up. Credit to Fondau for knowing that Miller likes to get into that lane and waiting for it.
And be willing to sit there and take a couple charges like that, yes.
Yeah, pretty sure between the first half and the second half, there's probably 6 turnovers on Kennedy as Erickson commits the foul trying to defend Williams, or Miller rather. And Miller, Patty, it looks like is really trying to take over now.
I think
Kennedy.
So. And I think as the point guard, and trying to get a spark going for your team. But if they go back to doing what they were doing in the first half, I think that will be to their advantage. Let's work in the inside-outside game.
Miller drains the first. She's found that shooting stroke from the free throw line. 11 in the first half, or rather 10 in the first half, 5 now here in the second. 2 for 2 there. She's 4 for 4 here in the second half, and it's a 47-41 lead. Kennedy not out of this yet.
No, and they're gonna pressure Fisher because they know she's the one they want to bring the ball up.
Miller swipes it away into the Armstrong bench. It'll stay down on this end with the red and blue. Bill Hupp and former Park Center head coach Patty Sorensen calling this early season non-conference game here in Plymouth. And it's been a good one. We thought it would be competitive, and it has. Fisher gets to the rack, gets a step, and if that's on Miller, that's going to be her 5th, and she'll foul out. It is.
And that's what I was going to say a little bit ago. It's like when she picked up that last one, they need her in there. They do not need her to get another foul.
5th, a personal foul on Macy Miller. So she'll leave with a game-high 16 points to her name, but that's a big loss for the Eagles, who see their point guard foul out.
Their point guard, their leading scorer, they're kind of their floor general.
10 in the first half, 6 in the second half, and she goes to the bench with 5 fouls. Avriana Jackson checks in as Emily Fisher steps to the foul line. 10 team fouls on the Falcons, 9 on Bloomington Kennedy. So still in the 1-and-1. And Fisher rolls that in. Madison Fonda, the 5'6" senior guard, has really led the way in this second half as Fisher goes 1 for 2. It's a 7-point lead as we near the 2.5-minute mark in the second half. Haley Williams will be the presumed ball handler now. Shot blocked, Carter grabs it. Pass swung around for Harris. She'll dial up a 3, in and out. Oh, that was halfway down.
I was going to say, she must be able to make those shots because she's taken several tonight. That can be very dangerous when you have someone, a big like that does well with her back to the basket and then can come out and hit the threes.
Oh, yeah. Ella Cooley holds on high, puts her shoulder down, gets to the hoop, no call. Underneath, Peterson, try again. And this time a jump ball. Peterson frustrated. The jump ball keeps it on this end with Armstrong as we're inside of 2 minutes to play. Cutting Cooley, misses it. Harris snags down the rebound. Kicked out for Williams. Runner, can't get it to go. She has had some real tough luck with those layups today.
You know, I've seen that on both ends with some of these kids. That, you know, probably that's their shot and they always make it, but
sometimes in a game, though, you've got that little extra adrenaline. Yep. You lose the touch a little bit. Erickson ties up Carter. And it'll stay down here with Kennedy. Neither coach has expended a timeout. Both teams in the double bonus. And just as I say that, Quentin Johnson, Eagle. So,
yeah, take care of the ball. And we're already watching them now. They're double teaming Fisher. They don't want her to bring the ball up. You know.
I don't have too much to say right now. I just want to see how the game plays out personally. Whichever team wants it more will execute properly. The Falcons will make sure they hold on to the ball and play good defense, not giving up anything easy. And Kennedy will try their best to find something easy. They'll work around to get good shots and make it happen.
Harris. Too hard for Williams. It goes off of Harris.
And what we're seeing is that Kennedy's folding. They've missed their last couple of shots. The last bunch of shots, honestly. They've only had some free throws to kind of bail them out to even get them within 7 over the past like 6-7 minutes. So it's interesting, but the game's not over yet. So let's see what can happen. And once again, this press, these guys are pressing and then backing up or just letting people pass by them.
Rather, finally able to.
I think Coach Johnson wanted a foul, but he wanted her to go for the ball, not to. I saw him talking after, no, you got to go for the ball.
Each team with 10 personal fouls now, so the double bonus the rest of the way. As Fisher coolly sinks the first. Third free throw of the half for her. In and out. So 1 for 2 as Carter pulls down the rebound. 1 minute to go, second half, 49-41. Largest lead of the game for Armstrong at 8. Back out Richardson. Again, the pressure of Armstrong really dialed up here late. Williams 3. They have gotten deflected. Erickson pulls it away from a couple different Kennedy defenders. 38 seconds to go. Smelser in the corner for Erickson. Just a 6-second difference between shot and game clock as they got to try to foul. Williams trying to get a steal. Way too much time coming off, and finally Harris fouls Smeltzer out high. I'm sure Coach Johnson would have wanted a foul sooner.
Yeah, I'm anticipating that also, and I'm just watching and I'm looking at the composure right now, even with the Falcons, how they were moving the ball, knowing aware that they still had time on the shot clock. Take your time, make good passes, keep cutting to the ball.
Smelser, an impressive freshman, drains the first. First points of the second half for her. 2 for 2. 51-41. Largest lead of the game now for the Falcons as they're pulling away here at home. Really, that second half, they trailed by 6 at halftime. Opened the second half on an 10-0 run, and they have not looked back as a foul underneath will lead to free throws.
And that's what Coach Easley's saying. Look at the clock, look at the time, look at the score.
Yeah.
We don't need another foul. We don't need to put them at the free throw line.
Score and situation, right? Coaches
Exactly.
preach it all the time. Carter drains her second free throw of the half. Yeah, I've been impressed with Smelzer and her lack of fearlessness. She has been confident today as Fondau tracks down the rebound, and Smeltzer will dribble this one out.
Definitely some good things to build on here for the Falcons.
Robbinsdale Armstrong erases a 6-point halftime deficit. They score 30 in the second half.
All right, so like I said, man, based on the halftime adjustments I pointed out, Armstrong definitely executed properly. The Falcons, not so much. So, man, this is the game. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.